Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Garage Talk Sports. I'm Mills.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Nick.
And we are back in the garage bringing episode number 36 to you guys this week. We're going to be talking some NBA, college football, and NFL talk. Real quick, want to shout out the White Sox signing of Kendall Graveman. Nick, thoughts real quick?
If he plays like he did on the Mariners, one of the best signings in free agency for a bullpen. If he plays like Astros, average signing.
Fair enough. I'm excited about the signing. We're not going to talk too much. That's pretty much the extent of MLB actually right there. Just wanted to throw that out there because,
we could tell you're excited.
White Sox fan.
Yeah,
I'm excited about the signing. But without further ado, we'll jump into this week's episode. We'll start off with some NBA talk. Let's take it to what went down a couple nights ago between LeBron and what's the other dude's name? Isaiah Stewart?
Isaiah Stewart.
LeBron got his first, it was a little bit of a brawl, kind of.
It was Isaiah Stewart trucking a bunch of people.
Yeah, Isaiah, he was a bat out of hell. He was coming for blood.
Yeah, dude. Then he'd be like, "No, I'm coming. Boom, right back at it. Right back at it. He was not holding back.
One of the most impressive edge rusher I've seen, maybe since Khalil Mack. Watching him.
Oh man, dude, he was pissed off, and I don't blame him. But basically, what happened, Nick? You want to fill people in who didn't see the incident or don't really know what's going on in the NBA?
Yeah. So Pistons versus Lakers, not like a extremely heated match. The Pistons are kind of not great. They're on the up and up or whatever. But
Pistons were winning. They had
they were winning. I'm just saying.
Lead.
I'm just saying in like the grand scheme of things, it's not going to do much this year.
Yeah, they won't.
But third quarter, offensive player is the Pistons guy on a free throw. He's in between, I think, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I don't know for sure, but LeBron James is higher up on the key than him. Free throw, I believe, goes in. I think it was a miss.
It was a miss. It was for a rebound.
And super hard box out, which is kind of strange for an offensive in the NBA. An offensive rebound on a free throw isn't, especially in the third quarter. LeBron gets pissed and like swings his arm back,
throwing bows,
and
man,
then throws his hand in like kind of a scrape, open hand fist slap, which then draws blood from, I believe, the top of his eye. So Stewart looked pretty bad. I don't think it was as bad as how bloody it was.
It was a lot of blood.
Dude,
though.
he was leaking.
Yeah, but then LeBron was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like right away tried to apologize, but you could clearly there was intent behind it. No one throws their arm back that hard for no reason.
Oh yeah, you're not. I'm sorry. Maybe the scratch was incidental, but you were definitely going to for an intense shove or push.
Yeah, he was going for
you weren't just you didn't coincidentally or accidentally swipe your hand hard enough to throw to peel a guy's skin.
Yeah.
All right. There was some intention behind. I don't think the intention was to cut open his face and draw blood, but he was definitely going for a hard swipe. That's, I think, pretty clear in the video.
Yeah.
But
I heard the Lions try to contact him about either being a running back for all the people he trucked and possibly an edge rusher on defense because of how fast he just got off the edge from teammates and security guards and coaches trying to hold him.
Lord knows he can help the Lions.
dude, he was not getting hold back.
No, it was but so that resulted in what I think LeBron got. They both got ejected. LeBron got a 1-game suspension. Isaiah Stewart got 2.
2 games for now. I feel like.
You think he can appeal?
I think LeBron will get a 1-game suspension just because of how much blood was drawn. I think Stewart might end up getting more games just because of how much he continued it on.
Yeah.
I understand the first run at him or the first talk to him and then the first run at him, but the second run, completely unnecessary. The trying to run around the stadium to get back in a second door, that's too much.
He tried to do that?
Yeah, if you watch the video, he's pretty much in the tunnel and then turns behind him, sees there's no one there, and just full books it. And there's no way he books it that fast to go to the locker room.
Yeah, dude, he just kept going on, man. It was 3 or 4 minutes of him just keep going back.
I think so. I think they went to commercial break, came back, it was still happening. I think they went to another commercial break, and it was also still happening after that one.
Yeah, okay. So he carried it on probably more than he needed to.
Yeah.
I understand being pissed off and whatnot. But like you said, Nick, really after the first run at him, that's probably, you get your one run at a guy, right?
Yeah.
After that, it's almost excessive. Now,
yeah.
With the factor of it drew blood and everything, obviously he's going to be even more pissed. It's around the eye. That's not a fun place to get any kind of cuts. I mean, think about how close that is to actually just cut and ripping his eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand the anger. We probably got to dial it back a little bit, man. You get your first big run at someone, and then after that, you got to try and settle down.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's the big news now because it's LeBron. He's the biggest name in the NBA, so that's gonna That's pretty much being talked about all over. But what about our hometown team, the Bulls? Had a rough showing against the Pacers.
Yeah, they scored 77 points, which
They were due for a stinker.
Yeah.
Especially with how good their offense have been. It's like, I'm not saying it relies completely on DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but like if one of them has an off game, you could just easily key on the other one. So
Alex Caruso didn't play, right?
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I think he was either resting
That was your boy, man.
or if he was just
He is my
like
boy.
That's your boy.
Laugh all you want, Bobby. Alex Caruso is going to be the reason the Bulls have a good. He's going to be a difference maker come playoff time.
I think so, yeah.
I like Alex Caruso.
He's a starter now
Yeah, he is.
because of Patrick Williams being hurt.
Yeah.
See,
But-
underrated signing, big signing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like they replaced him pretty well in Los Angeles. Austin Reeves replaced him. I mean, I don't think as good because he's not as much
Electric.
experience, but I feel like he easily replaces Caruso in like a year or two, just after he gets the experience.
Nonsense. Caruso's irreplaceable. No, the Bulls kind of tried. They didn't look good against the Pacers, but like I said, they were kind of due for one of those games.
Yeah.
It's really their first bad game, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
Like truly bad. They've had some they've had other losses, but this was really the first game where just it looked off from the start. You know what I mean? And it's an 82 game season, so you're gonna have those here and there, especially with a young team. I'm gonna call them a new team because really it is a rebuilt team. This is the first time all these guys are all together for the most part. So you're gonna have these ups and downs throughout the season. I'm not really sweating it all that much. The funny thing though was the fire Nagy chants that started in that game.
That was so loud. That was
Yeah. So if you guys didn't, for those of you who don't know, Matt Nagy's public enemy number one here in Chicago. Wanting him fired unites Sox and Cubs fans. And really, all of Chicago is behind getting that man fired.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Nagy a little bit more later in the
don't
show. So don't you worry about that. But all in all, from the Bulls, 77 points, not a good showing, especially when that offense has been capable of putting up so much more. But whatever, young team, still learning, figuring it all out early in the season. You take those sometimes.
Yeah, we'll bounce back.
Yeah, you just kind of got to wear it and move on, learn from it, and go forward. Another big thing, though, in the NBA is Klay Thompson, I believe, is he cleared? Has he returned to practice?
He's cleared for practice, but I mean, with how well they're playing, there's no rush.
There's no rush.
Yeah.
Like if they were kind of like middle of the road, middle pack, it's like we got to get him back as soon as possible. But they need him. So they might have a chance of being like top 4 seed without him going into the playoffs. But in the playoffs, it's going to be a different story with like trying to play good offense when you just have Steph Curry as like your veteran guy. But
yeah.
With Klay Thompson being clear for practice, Steve Kerr is one of the most. After that, what was it, 73-9 game or season?
Yeah.
After he realized he didn't rest his players enough for the playoffs, and then they lost. He's a much smarter coach. He's not going to rush Klay Thompson back.
No, he's not.
Injured
Like you said, they don't need to rush him back. That team's playing lights out basketball without him.
But once you get him back, oh god, they're gonna be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all bets are off at that point. Another team though out in the West that's been really hot lately is the Suns. I think they're on like a 12 or 13 game winning streak.
Sheesh.
I think so. That sounds right.
Something like that.
It's either 12
more
game
than
winning
10, I
streak
know
or it's
that.
like 14 of their last 15.
Yeah,
Something like
they've
that.
been on an incredible roll right now. So,
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like the Suns. I wanted them. We all know I wanted them to win the finals last season. Didn't happen.
Called it.
Yeah. Bobby called it. But whatever. They're on a roll. Klay Thompson's coming back. The West is probably going to once again be the conference of like more electric teams, more prolific scoring and whatnot. But you know what? At the end of the day, you still got to get through the Bucks. The Nets, for all we know, can be another dominant team this year. The Bulls.
We don't know if Kyrie's going
Did
to
you
get a
guys see
vaccine.
what Giannis said?
I did not.
He might not be returning to Milwaukee.
Really?
Yeah.
When was this?
I don't know. He had like an article, but it was very confusing. All he said is that, basically he said that, he loves the city, blah, blah, blah. But he said, the next chapter might not be there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that would be
That would be big.
I feel like
That
that's
would
a
be
comment to get
huge.
more money. There's no way he leaves Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
if they're not going to give him a lot of money, and like New Orleans or Orlando is just going to be like, here's all the money in the world, then I can see him being like, oh, okay, that's fair.
Would it be a equivalent situation to when LeBron left Cleveland?
I would say very, very similar.
Similar, but at least they won a championship, so it's a little bit less. Like if Giannis if Giannis would leave, didn't win a championship in Milwaukee, and then wins a championship, everyone would be more pissed.
Yeah, but he gave him a championship. You know,
Yeah, I don't know. It would be. I would be shocked. He's so. He does. I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't strike me as a dude who's gonna just leave the team and go to like a big market just for the big contract.
Yeah.
But
you never
what
know.
do I know? I'm not him. I'm not his agent. I don't know what his plans are. I don't work in the NBA, so I couldn't even act like I know. That's just the general like perception I have of Giannis. And so if he leaves though, damn, that would really suck for Milwaukee fans.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
could bring
boy.
on some dark days.
Especially if he goes to someone like that's going to play them 4 times a year. Where you're just like, oh man, we got to play Giannis now 4 times and have to beat him to get
That
another
would be,
championship.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that'd be.
I hope he stays for the sake of him in Milwaukee.
And
But
he is that team.
yeah, oh yeah, no doubt.
Like he leaves that team, they're in shambles.
Yeah, no doubt. With like 100%, but it's his call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a Bucks fan, so I'm not going to be like, no. It would just kind of suck.
Yeah, true.
It would
But
suck for the Bucks.
good for the Bulls.
Good for the Bulls,
Yeah,
especially if he goes to the West.
Yeah. Hopefully he goes.
Yeah.
Get his ass out of there.
If he goes to the West, that would just make everything crazier.
Yeah.
Joins like the Suns or something.
Joins the Suns, joins the Trailblazers with Damian Lillard.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would
it's like,
be
oh
just
my gosh.
insane.
I know one person who would cream himself.
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
Shout out Cole.
Every
But-
time there's a Northwestern team that we talk about, it's always shout out to Cole or the Giants.
The Pacific Northwest or the Giants,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, really, that's really all the NBA talk,
Yeah.
right, guys?
Yeah, it's still early. I mean,
It's
that's
still early. You know,
College football though, the impossible happened. Oregon takes a loss to Utah, and Cincinnati's in the top 4, boys. Let's go.
R.I.P. Cole.
Yeah.
Cole's an Oregon fan.
Oh,
Yeah, but so Cincinnati cracked the top 4. They're also
that's what they needed to happen.
they cracked into it. They're also number 4 in the college football playoff rankings too.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to go up against.
So they're gonna
The
get their,
Dodgers.
they're gonna get
Well, they'll see. Because if Alabama beats Georgia, wouldn't Alabama be the number 1 seed?
arguably.
it
You
really
have to-
depends because if Ohio
Either
State,
way, they're not. I don't see Cincinnati beating Alabama or Georgia.
Dude, they're gonna get mollywopped. All
And
right.
this is, it's a good story. Good for Cincinnati. They're doing their part. I don't like punishing teams because of their schedule or anything like that. But if it goes the way that everyone expects it to, it will pretty much that will be like the final nail in the coffin for those kind of school, for like making the case for those schools.
yeah,
But I mean, they deserve it. You know?
No, and I, like I said, I don't like knocking teams because they're smaller programs. They don't play these power schools all the time. But my point is just like, that's what the committee, that's what a bunch of people knock those teams for. And it's because more times than not, those teams, when they're given their chance, get embarrassed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like there is a reason that bias exists. It's not like it's unwarranted, right? I mean, this goes back all the way to Northern Illinois when they played in the Orange Bowl against Florida State back in like 2013 or whatever. Like same thing. Everyone was pissed that Northern Illinois got a BCS game. They got kind of embarrassed by Florida State.
yeah.
It happens. That's what kind of sucks about it. But until a program comes along and changes that bias is always going to exist.
But who knows? Maybe they will.
Maybe
Really?
I don't see it happening though. Too much
Cincinnati's the
talent
point
on those other programs.
where like if Cincinnati gets in, I'm not gonna be like mad. Be like, I don't think they belong there. I don't think they actually belong there. I think they're gonna get blown out if they play. If they play any of the top 3 teams besides them right now, I think they get blown out. I mean, they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not amazing. Like
No, it was an impressive win at the time it happened, but as the seasons played out, Notre Dame really isn't that impressive of a victory anymore.
yeah, I don't think
Hey, they're in the top 5.
yeah Notre
They're
Dame's
the top 5 team.
Notre Dame's 5 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Michigan. Well, Ohio State absolutely destroyed Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State.
There was a
Michigan State was a team that I never thought
There-
really should have been in
Yeah.
there.
They just had Kenneth Walker.
They were overachieving.
Yeah, that was pretty
There's a
much it.
like Michigan State and Michigan were kind of being kept out of that top spot for a reason.
Yeah.
Both of those programs didn't have the marquee win, and it just so happened Michigan State's big win was against Michigan,
Yeah.
and Michigan didn't really have any of those wins this year. I didn't realize Notre Dame got put into the top 5 again.
Yeah, their only loss is a Cincy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've only lost.
Gotcha. I know they had some rough weeks where they didn't look the greatest.
But
But it's whatever. So Cincinnati, they didn't do anything to not be there. So I'm not saying they don't belong there. It's just going to be a shame because unless they do the I'm going to say the impossible, not to sound that way, but I don't see them really matching up all that great to Georgia or Alabama.
But to be fair, I honestly don't see anyone matching up to Georgia.
No.
I think Alabama beat Arkansas 42 to 37 or something, and Georgia literally blew them out. They didn't even score.
Georgia's insane. Georgia is an insane football program.
Georgia's defense is just so good.
And it's a shame. Cincinnati's going to kind of be sacrificed to them.
Yeah, they are.
I think the biggest thing that Cincinnati can hope for is Michigan beats Ohio State this week, and then Georgia beats Alabama in the championship, the conference championship. Because then I feel like that puts Michigan 2, Cincinnati 3, and then a random team at 4. And I feel like Cincinnati, out of all the teams in the top 10, could beat Michigan. That's the only team I'm going to say they could beat.
Yeah, but then that puts them in the fun.
Yeah, but I'd rather make it to the college
I like
football.
rooting for these smaller programs, but I'm if it comes to Cincinnati versus Georgia, I'm going to be rooting against Cincinnati so hard.
Yeah.
And it would be cool to see them get to the champ. If they can, I get what you're saying. Best case scenario for them is to not be the number 4 team.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to have to go up against most likely Georgia, and if not Georgia, they're going to go up against Alabama. Because the only way Georgia's losing number 1 is if Alabama beats them.
Yeah.
That's the only way that's happening. Either way, though, if Cincinnati's number 4, they're going to have to go. They're going to probably get kind of stomped in whatever they're calling that bowl game.
But we'll see how it goes.
But I do agree, Nick, that their best chance is probably to beat a team like Michigan.
Yeah.
Maybe even Ohio State. Ohio State is better than Michigan, but there still have been games this year where teams have hung around Ohio State a bit longer than they should have.
Yeah.
And that's all you need if you're Cincinnati is to be able to just stay close and capitalize when the opportunities present themselves, and you can find yourself in an upset. Problem is, you're looking at Georgia. Georgia really has not been in any kind of close game this year.
No,
every win's been a convincing victory.
Yeah.
Alabama's going to be their biggest test, sure, but remember, Arkansas was a top 10 school, and they made Arkansas look like they had no business being out on the field with them. Every team that's gone up against Georgia, notice how their rank has dropped significantly.
Yeah, I do want to say
facing.
when they played Arkansas, their quarterback was dealing with the injury, so I don't think he was at 100%. So
Still, it's more,
Yeah.
but it's been a season-long thing of watching teams have no chance.
Exactly.
Georgia's defense is just so good.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, imagine what happens when the quarterback play is even better. Like right now, Stetson Bennett's not doing anything to lose them games. He's doing what you're asking him to do: run the offense, just manage the clock, manage the offense, find the open guys. Don't take over the game with your arm because they don't need him to. It's just scary to think what Georgia could still evolve into if they had more of Stetson Bennett, but if they had a top prospect quarterback on that team, imagine.
Dude, it would be insane.
It would be nuts. Georgia's just so good, and I love it.
But as it sits right now, we got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Bama 3, Cincinnati 4, Notre Dame 5. So we'll see. One more week. Maybe there's changes, but
one more week and then championship weekend.
Yeah.
So is Michigan and Ohio State playing this week?
Yeah. Playing Saturday.
So then, will they have to play? No, it's East versus West, right?
Yeah.
In the Big Ten. So yeah, they're gonna probably play Wisconsin.
I think so.
Oh God, dude.
So
Iowa.
Ohio State.
Iowa's still out there.
No,
Other
dude,
than
I
that,
think
they
Iowa
lost.
fell off, dude.
They lost 20 games,
Yeah,
Yeah, Wisconsin's like a 3 or 4 loss team.
they have like
but
4.
they're undefeated in conference.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so they're number 1 in the West
Gotcha.
or West. Yeah, West.
I don't know which one it
Yeah.
is.
Usually in the Big Ten, it's, I mean, for the last few years, it's been Northern or Northwestern versus Ohio State. So,
Yeah,
I mean, the Western half of it isn't as good as the Eastern. So,
No.
but
we'll have to see how that matchup shakes out. I'll tell you what, if Michigan wins this week, that'll be an interesting one
that'll be very interesting.
because
I don't-
that'll throw. There's a weird tiebreaker that exists here. If Michigan loses to Ohio State, then Michigan State owns the tiebreaker over Michigan. So that is effective for like other bowl games and crap.
I don't see it happening though. They lost to Michigan State and Ohio State
No, I-
completely stopped. I just don't see it happening. But possibility.
I said if Ohio State beats Michigan,
Yeah.
and you said you don't see that happening.
Oh, I thought you said Michigan State.
No. Ohio State beats Michigan. Then Michigan and Michigan State have a tie, but Michigan State has a tiebreaker over them,
Oh,
That's what I was
which
saying.
it wouldn't really
Oh,
matter
okay.
because
That's what I
Ohio
was
State
like,
would
bro,
be
you
first.
have like you don't.
There
see-
really is no tiebreaker
Yeah,
for
right.
the simple fact that it's just Ohio State was number 1 in that conference.
No,
Yeah.
I forgot Ohio State has a loss. So I was gonna start going on something, but that was as I was saying, I was like, Ohio State lost to Oregon. That's right. So never mind.
yeah.
Either way, it's probably going to be Ohio State versus whatever team from the West. We'll see, man. We'll see. This is the time of year where I actually start like getting more invested in college football.
Yeah, it's
It's more exciting now.
very exciting.
We're past all the BS like cupcake games and everything.
Yeah.
So-
But where it sits now, who's your guys' draft crush?
I don't know. For me, it's a weird question because I don't know if you meant like a draft crush as in like who we like the best or who we want the Bears to possibly get.
Like, just who you like the best?
Because for me, I don't really have any draft crush because I don't really follow college football that much. But for Bears wise, I would like them to get a cornerback because I feel like they need another young guy to pair with Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
So I went with Roger McCreary from Auburn. He plays really well when there's another guy who's a pretty solid cornerback.
All right.
So like if he's playing with Jalen Johnson, I feel like they maybe not rookie year for him, but maybe second, third year. It's one of those things where like they don't have to switch sides and they can just lock down both sides of the field.
yeah, and especially after Kindle Vidor.
Yeah, I mean we'll probably talk about
Bum.
that in a little
Terrible.
bit, but
We'll get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
it's
we'll
just
get
one of those
into it.
things where like I feel like the Bears now their offensive line's decent with Borum and Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah.
So now it's
When
like
Tevin Jenkins comes back, the O line's going to actually be in good shape.
Yeah, it will be.
I really believe that.
so like once they got to plug the holes on defense, which is where they have the
Yeah.
holes right now. So after they do that, it's like that's who the Bears need. They need a cornerback, and anyone who says they need a wide receiver or something like that is just not following Bears
Well,
football.
Allen Robinson not getting re-signed, not looking likely. So I would
He's
say,
been a Allen Robinson's gone.
yeah, dude, he's gone.
All that drama for nothing. My draft crush. He's also the guy who we can debate this if you want. I believe I believe he should win the Heisman this year. I'm going with Kenneth Walker III, running back from Michigan State.
I agree with you. Honestly, like all the quarterback play this year hasn't been
Well,
the best.
And on top of this, sorry, I had a hiccup. Sorry. So Kenneth Walker's season, right? When you break down the numbers, he's got like 1,400 and like 70 something yards. That could have changed since I last looked at it. I was like halfway through the Michigan State game when I looked it up. So the total he was at halftime in the Michigan State Ohio State game was more than Derrick Henry's Heisman year, and he's 2 touchdowns behind Derrick Henry's Heisman year, which Derrick Henry was the last running back to win the Heisman. The last running back to win before Derrick Henry was Mark Ingram. Completely blew Mark Ingram's numbers out of the water. So I mean, it is a legitimate case, especially like you were about to say, Bobby. The quarterback play in college football this year has been pretty rough.
Yeah, it
I
has not
mean,
been.
there really has not been a guy who's taken over.
Yeah, that's
Um,
like your clear cut
No,
Like,
they've all
amazing.
been they've been pretty bad, which is why we've got your hot take of no QB taken in the first 10 picks this year's draft.
That's like a cold take at this point now.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. I
That's,
feel like.
that's lukewarm now.
Unless Kenny Pickett, man. 2 glove.
2-glove Pickett.
Yeah,
No.
dude, man.
But so I mean, maybe a team's really desperate. Who knows? But either way, like I think he legitimately has a case for the Heisman. He should, in my opinion, he should win the Heisman already. If the season ended last weekend, he should be the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
I mean, he had
agree.
those numbers. Those numbers I looked up. They were actually before the Ohio State game happened.
Yeah.
So he already beat Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram's numbers, and he has 2 games left. Plus, well, no, he's probably not. They're not going to be in a conference championship, but plus their bowl game if he plays in the bowl game.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. The dude is like an absolute.
No, I agree.
He is the offense for Michigan State.
Unless there's like a wide receiver that I'm missing, it has amazing. But
No,
I
that's why he's my. That's why I'm saying he's my. I don't want to say draft crush, because it's not like I'm sitting here like just praying that the Bears pick him up or anything. But he is probably going to be if he does go to the draft this year, he's a junior, so he can come back. Who knows?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
No, but he could realistically be a really solid like late first, early second round pick to a team like Buffalo would be a perfect team.
That would be the perfect opportunity.
They don't have a running game.
Yeah.
Buffalo does not have a running game. He would be a great fit somewhere like if you put him on a team that's already a solid offense and you let him be able to take over as the lead running back. Is he going to be like Derrick Henry? Probably not. But I mean, dude, if you can get someone who contributes like David Montgomery to the Bears,
Yeah.
does he get all the glamour? No, but no one doubts how important David Montgomery is for the Bears offense.
Yeah, it
doesn't work.
Mine, Treylon Burks. Let me tell you.
Tell me.
He's a big boy. All right,
Big
6'3", 230. He's gonna be your Calvin Johnson. All right.
Is he fast?
He's not the fastest, but let me tell you, he could go up and get that football.
He can get them balls.
Yeah, he can.
That's all you need.
Kind of reminds me of Kyle Pitts a little bit.
Is he a tight end or a wide receiver?
He's a wide receiver, but I mean Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts kind of looks like a wide receiver.
He's basically a wide receiver.
He's basically a wide receiver. So we'll be looking for him in the draft. Hopefully, see him maybe to the Bears. But
I don't know what the Bears are going to do. What do you think of? Never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
yeah, true.
I think that
we're a little bit too far. But I mean, for us Bears fans, it's looking pretty likely
it's
that
looking pretty bad.
we're gonna have to be just looking forward to the draft.
Dude,
that's true. I think it's good though.
I mean, really, realistically,
The best thing about it though is that we took Fields last year. We don't have to worry about this terrible QB class.
that's true. I agree.
Because like they could have traded up and got any they could have just stay where they were and got any help, and then be like, oh, we'll get a quarterback next year, and then be like, oh, there's none that you would want to be on your team.
Because anyone that was talked about is not even in the top 25 anymore.
they're all bad. They're all having bad. Like,
They're all having terrible years.
Spencer Rattler doesn't look good.
Yeah, dude, I don't.
Spencer Rattler was the big name.
Yeah, he was the number one.
He was QB1 for this draft class.
Sam Howell was number 2. Sam Howell is probably the only one still in the top 25.
Yeah,
And it's rough. He's on the edge.
It's on the edge. He plays at a smaller program. You don't really, you don't really know what you're getting in him, right?
Yeah.
Trubisky was the last guy to come out of that school. We saw how that worked out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be the same. It's going to be the same result for Sam Howell, but it's you don't know what you have. I can't say definitively what kind of quarterback Sam Howell is going to be in the NFL.
No, you really don't know. Yeah.
Like there's too much inconsistency there. There's one thing you can't have at college is inconsistency.
Yeah, you need to have.
Like you need to, if you want to be a true like top prospect, you need to show that you're above the talent you're playing.
Especially at a school like UNC, like you have to have like the numbers.
Yeah.
Like you have
Yeah.
And if you're not putting up that good of numbers, like it's like
that's why Mitch was such a big prospect. He flew up draft boards because he had a really good year.
Yeah.
His 1 year at UNC. Probably should have returned back for another year or two. But whatever.
Yeah. We digress.
He's gonna do what he had to do. Good for him and everything. But it's a rough quarterback draft. And like you said, Nick, that's why I'm glad that the Bears went after and got Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Because the talent that exists outside of after last year's draft is a fraction of what it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you be aggressive. You gave up a first round pick in this year's draft, which is looking more and more like it's going to be like a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
But you live with it
Yeah.
because you have your quarterback. You still got to keep your second round pick, so you could still end up with a really high second round pick, which is good because there's plenty of guys that fall out of the first round that you can go and get. So you could still go and get a main impact guy there, probably a cornerback. I'm willing to bet cornerback or wide receiver is going to be their big
that
focus.
would be their big.
At least if it was me, I would be focusing defensive back. We'll see though. It's just the Bears.
Yeah, man, that's
Bears.
rough.
Fire Nagy.
But we'll jump into some NFL. News broke today. This might be Nagy's last game after Thanksgiving. I don't know how true this is. Nagy has come out and said that there was nothing spoke about, nothing talked about. So could be all smoke.
Could be.
But as I know, in franchise history, the Bears have not ever fired a quarterback mid-season.
Coach. Mid-season.
Coach.
Yeah.
Did I say quarterback? My
You
bad.
say quarterback.
I did.
Yeah, no. It's weird, right? Because why on earth? Make it make sense, right? Oh, hey, Matt. We're gonna fire you after this next game, but we're gonna let you coach it still.
Yeah, no.
Regardless of the result. Normally it's you have the rest of this. You have this week to save your job. No, your job's already done, so we're gonna just fire you regardless of what you do.
Yeah, or you wait till you lose to a terrible Lions team and then you just shit can them. So unless they're preparing to lose the Lions.
Yeah, here's what I thought. This is what I take away from it. I don't think anyone said that they were gonna told him that he's fired. The way it seems to me is someone inside the Bears organization. Like let's say George McCaskey, Ted Phillips, and Ryan Pace got together, and their plan was, all right, we're moving on from Nagy after this week. We're gonna just get through the Thanksgiving game, get through the holiday. We're gonna have that extended break. We're basically off after that for the next 10 days. So, the plan is to get through Thanksgiving, fire Nagy, and then you have that 10 days to kind of get the roster and everything. They can adjust to the changes and whatnot. I'm willing to bet someone else was in the room, let it slip to someone, and then it just came out, and now it's just all hell's broken loose because someone decided they wanted to let that slip. Nagy found out through some reports, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I have no doubt, though, that the Bears are legitimately considering firing him after this week. I really don't. The team looks horrible.
Just terrible.
Once again, they have failed to score more than 16 points in a game.
And we lost to a backup.
That falls on the defense more.
It does.
Which is dealing with injuries, but still, the fact that you lost to a dude making his first career start in Chicago against what should be a still good defense that they played well up until for the second week in a row. Well, not week in a row, but for the second game in a row now, the Bears defense has collapsed in the last 2.5 minutes of a game. So this is I'm kind of getting sick of it. I was excited for Sean Desai when they promoted him and everything. But at this point, I really don't see how the Bears organization can get back on track with this current staff.
Yeah, no. It's I don't think it's talent-wise. It's definitely coaching.
Yeah, and Tony Romo called the game, and he had some good insight. I actually really like Tony Romo. And he broke down the Bears roster a little bit, and he explained, he's like, Ryan, I'm going to do my best right now. This is me speaking. I'm going to do my best to kind of advocate for Ryan Pace. I know a lot of people want him gone with Nagy, but Tony Romo was saying it. Ryan Pace has acquired talent on that team.
Yeah.
Right. David Montgomery, before his injury, was one of the most productive running backs in the NFL. Right. You have Justin Fields, a dynamic quarterback that a lot of people are excited about. Darnell Mooney, who had a rough game, but for the most part this season has been really good. Cole Kmet is developing and proving that he could be a solid tight end. You have that offensive line. It's not the best, but for what you put into it, you're getting a lot of production out of it.
Yeah.
The offensive line has really been playing pretty good lately. Since Larry Borum came back from injury, that has made a huge difference because then you're really just suffering at the center position now.
Yeah.
So the O-line's not horrible. You can address, but it's something you can address with your free agency because you're going to have a lot of cap space.
Yeah.
The defense, there's young guys on defense that are solid. You need to fill in some pieces. Obviously, you need to replace Kindle Vildor.
He needs to be
But
gone.
for the most part, I would say more of this roster is above average talent than average or less. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like you should be getting production out of it.
You should be better than 3-7 with this roster.
Yes.
But your coaching staff clearly isn't working. It's at this point now 4 years of the Matt Nagy experiment. We've gone through every excuse that we could hear, right? We're a kicker away. Oh, our quarterback's not that good, so we'll get a different guy. Oh, wait, it was never really that quarterback. It was just the quarterback room in general. We need to restart at quarterback. So we get Dalton and Fields.
It's everybody but me.
It's everyone else's fault, but we're not going to look at the same guy who's had his hands on the offense for 4 years.
You know what? Excuses are like assholes. Everyone has one. All right. Now, Nagy,
you stink.
You stink. You need to be gone. And honestly, I hope Tim Boyle just absolutely destroys you and you go home and lose your job because you stink. You shouldn't be an NFL quarterback or coach.
You are obsessing over the quarterback position. It's just like, realistically, if you move on from Nagy, I understand moving on from Pace as well because Pace hired Nagy. I still believe that Pace's biggest miss as the GM was Nagy and not Trubisky.
I think it's fair to agree
I'm being
to that.
entirely serious when I say that. I think the biggest miss was who he hired to be the coach.
Yeah.
But if you move on from both of them, you move on from both of them. Either way, though, the coaching staff, at the very least, coaching staff needs to go.
Yeah.
It's uninspired football at this point.
Yeah.
It's just pathetic to watch. The Bears are embarrassing. They're not. I watch them every week because I like torturing myself. That's what makes me feel human. The heartbreak of another
the
Bears
absolute
loss.
heartbreak.
But they're bad.
Yeah,
and their
dude.
coach is bad. Their defensive coordinator is in over his head. Honestly, Chris Tabor's the only person who I actually like. And he's the special teams coordinator.
He is.
He's got like no input. He's
But
we're gonna kick a field goal or we're gonna punt.
Likely he would be the interim head coach if Nagy is to get fired.
Yeah, I think Nagy's only getting fired if they lose. There's no way you set a coach out there and be like, you're going to get fired regardless.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's why I think that report, the wording in the report is weird.
It is very
They
weird.
informed him that it's his last game. That makes no sense to me. And for as dumb and nonsensical as George McCaskey and Ted Phillips are, I doubt that they would be doing something that stupid.
Well, you can't do that because then Nagy's just going to be like, all right, I don't even care about this game.
Yeah,
it's still an important
all right,
game.
guess what? We're never running the ball all game.
My biggest problem, though, I understand Nagy's been a problem, but they have had a good defense, but an absolute terrible fourth quarter defense since Vic Fangio, Chuck Pagano. They don't know how to play in the last 2 minutes of a game. You watch games even from 2017, they're up 2 scores, and it comes down to a nail biter because they don't understand how to play prevent defense where you can't just let them march on. There's no way Tyler Huntley or Taylor, whatever his stupid name is, should whether or not Vildor gets a penalty or not, which was one of the worst penalties, they march down the field no problem, and that's 100% defensive coaching.
Yeah.
You have to tell your players, okay, we're gonna let them get catches in bounds, but not for 20, 30 yards down the field.
Busted coverages. We're giving up broken plays after broken play.
It's looking like the Desmond Trufant. Why? It's looking like why would you cut him?
Kyler Fuller, why did you just let him go?
Kyle Fuller's had a bad year.
No, I know he's had a bad year, but he would have made the team so much better. I think if Kyler Fuller's on our team, they would definitely win the last 2
Honestly,
games.
I just feel like they should have just kept Desmond Trufant on the team. Cornerback play
Kendall
would be so
Vildor
much.
is in over his head, and I don't want to bag on a second year player who was drafted in the 7th round. The expectations got to be kind of low, except for the fact that he became the starter now.
Yeah.
So
you
clearly
threw him
they
out
thought he
there.
was good enough to start. You need to be better than bad. As dumb as that sounds, it's bad. And he gets picked on every single game. Jalen Johnson's name never comes up. You want to know why? Because across on the other side of the field is a dude who might as well not even be out there.
Yeah.
You might as well just hope the quarterback misses his target on a wide open guy every time. Because at least then the quarterback might miss and you're not going to get a pass interference call. it's so bad. And
My biggest thing,
I'm
though-
over watching Kendall Vildor get a pass interference call on a bad throw from the quarterback that gives him like 15, 30 to anywhere from 15 to 30 yards. I mean, he flipped the field with his pass interference at the end of the game against the Ravens.
Yeah.
That was a 25-yard play. It could have been an interception instead.
Yeah, I mean, he still dropped the interception.
He still
which is
dropped it.
terrible.
But
My biggest problem that I have with this week is show Bears fans, you are still screwing the team. You can blame Nagy for whatever you want, but Bears fans forced Justin Fields to become the starter this year, and he should not have never been the starter for an extended period of time.
Like
Andy Dalton gets hurt. Okay, yes, you put him in the game, but as soon as Andy Dalton's healthy, you bring him back in the game. Fields should not be playing at this point.
but Justin Field has been making progress, and you've seen it throughout the game.
I
didn't
understand he's
see it
making
this
progress,
week.
but he's also
This-
making progress when he's on the bench behind a guy like Andy Dalton. I don't need to see Justin Fields getting hit a bunch of times. He should never have played earlier in the
I
season.
agree with that.
Even when Dalton was hurt, I would rather had Foles trot out there against Cleveland. Cleveland's offensive line is amazing, and the Bears' Cleveland's defensive line
Yeah.
overpowered the offensive line and just let's let our star player, who's supposed to be the face of our franchise for the next 10 years, get hurt. And that's not on the coaching, that's on Bears fans. Bears fans forced Nagy and Pace and all them to put Fields in for an extended period of time. He should not have been out there. And for the first half, against the Ravens defense, which is not great, you couldn't score. If Lamar Jackson was in that game, it would probably won 70 to
oh,
3.
that would have never been a close game if Lamar was playing.
Yeah, I would have.
Because your defense finally had time to wait and get energized for their series, but Justin Fields couldn't do anything, and that's yeah, you can blame the coaching, but you have Darnell Mooney. Andy Dalton came out and threw to Darnell Mooney, and he was fine, but Justin Fields he had an F for this for me.
He had a bad game.
Yeah.
I like Justin Fields, but the reality, I mean, here's the reality of it, right? Justin Fields leads the league in fumbles lost with 9 fumbles lost on the year. He has a turnover problem. He's a rookie, though, so they're going to have these issues. But, I mean, this is now, you probably can need 2 hands to count the number of times we've seen him take a bad hit
Yeah.
or something that you don't want to see him taking. And not only is he, I get it's football, you're going to take these hits. So, I'm not saying protect him from the hits, but he's taking these hits. And you know what? Outside of some flash moments here and there, I'm going to be honest. I like Justin Fields and all. He hasn't looked great.
No,
Yeah.
And all the rookies for the most part have not looked great this year.
Besides
for
Mac
Mac
Jones.
Jones.
I will say.
Mac Jones, who should have been 3rd overall, but I digress. But my point is just everyone's excited about Justin Fields. That's the future at quarterback for the Bears and everything. And we say that we're seeing progress every week. We're really not, though.
no.
At the end of the day, he makes a big throw here and there. That's not progress. That's a flash of his talent. Progress is what we've watched Mac Jones do. Mac Jones has moved from inconsistent flashes of good quarterback play to consistently playing above average.
Yes.
That is progress. Just because Justin Fields once a game hits Darnell Mooney for like 20 yards, that's not enough to say that's progress, right?
Yeah.
Mitch was here for 3 years, and every time he did that, no one said it was progress. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's just a flash. It's a flash play. He can't do it consistently." So I'm not saying Justin Fields isn't good. What I'm saying is there's really, outside of that Pittsburgh game, there hasn't been progress.
Yeah,
There hasn't.
I think the biggest way you can look at
He's
progress
turning over the ball more than he's scoring.
is
Yeah.
3rd and 8 play. David Montgomery peels out, easy check down, first down, easily. Maybe another 15, 20 yards. Justin Fields tucks it and runs. That's a stupid play. That's a college football player trying to make a play when you got to give it off to your team. Justin Fields, in 5 years from now, definitely most talented guy on offense. Right now, maybe 5th best. Darnell Mooney is more talented, produces more, where if you took out Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney is still going to succeed. Allen Robinson, coach's fault that he's not succeeding. Cole Kmet, coach's fault that he's not succeeding. David Montgomery.
Dude, don't get me started.
David Montgomery
Yeah.
is easily, whether the coach is good or not, David Montgomery is exceeding
Your running game's
expectations.
your running game. That's
And-
usually going to produce regardless.
Yeah.
Offensive line is over exceeding expectations because they looked terrible at the start of the year, but they've turned it around.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields, everyone's thinking, oh my gosh, he's the saving grace. Literally, I think they would be maybe 1, maybe 2 games better if Andy Dalton plays the entire season, doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything like Justin Fields is definitely going to be way better than Andy Dalton for his career long term, unless he stays within this system and doesn't improve.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not ripping Justin Fields. I think a lot of the reason we're not seeing true progress is part of the coaching staff as well.
Yes.
Because you look at what Justin Fields the real sign of progress was the Steelers game. Justin Fields looked the part. He was by far the best player on the Bears offense that game. He was doing that was his best game. I think that's pretty much a given, right? No one's gonna object to that or anything. But then you see, here we are out of the bye week even. So he had an extra week to prepare and do all this stuff and build a game plan. And once again, it's like it's just this is whatever goes on in Nagy's head. I don't get it, but everything that worked, we're not going to try it.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet was a huge factor in why the offense was looking good against Pittsburgh. So what do? We get him as uninvolved as possible.
Yeah.
He's blocking more times than not. Yep. We abandon the run game because that's what we do. We abandon the run game whenever we've proven that the run game works. It's like Nagy throws it out there and goes, see, guys, we can run the ball when we want to, and then just doesn't want to run the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not his way of wanting to do things. And I get Bill Lazor calls the plays. I'm no longer I'm done with Bill Lazor too because now the offense just doesn't work no matter what.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that at this point.
It's time for the Bears, if they lose this week, to follow the Blackhawks. Everyone except Chris Tabor needs to be gone. Chris Tabor becomes the new interim head coach. You find a bunch of other guys. Maybe bring Jason Garrett on for now.
No.
No, I'm not saying to be a full-term guy, but he doesn't have a job right now. And you need someone to be an offensive coordinator.
If we lose this week, you cut Nagy. Tabor, you make him your interim head coach. At the end of the year, you clean house. Tabor might be the only one to stay.
Right now, if they lose to Detroit, I better not see Justin Fields step on the field again this season.
No, I think at this point you cut your losses.
Right now, I would say don't put him on the field again for the season.
Rib injury.
But for sure, if they lose this week, Justin Fields better not step on the field as a player.
But bruised ribs, broken ribs. So
he avoided major injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to like wrap up here with the Bears talk and everything, I want to clarify because people are probably going to listen to my take on Justin Fields and go, say I'm being ridiculous. But let's call it what it is when you watch him play. We have an obvious bias towards him, right? So we're gonna hone in on the good things and we're gonna blow those up and talk about how this is why Justin Fields is the guy. This is why this is that, everything and whatnot. I'm not saying he's not going to be the guy. All I'm saying is when you break it down in reality and take your Bears fan perspective and bias out of it, Justin Fields has not shown hardly any progress.
Fair. Fine.
I'm just saying, more games than not, he's had less than 50% completion percentage. More games than not, he's had no touchdowns and like a turnover or two.
Yeah.
I want to say that there's been progress. No, there's been flashes, and that's different from progress. Progress is consistently doing those things.
It's fair enough.
The only thing he's consistently doing right now is fumbling the ball.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm not anti Justin Fields. Like I like the pick. But you guys watched Bobby and I react live.
Yeah.
Bobby, I'm not sitting here saying Justin Fields sucks. We wasted a draft pick on him. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying there hasn't been progress. Part of that is the coaching. The coaches have to set him up and teach him to improve. But sometimes it feels like he's thrown out there and it's like, hey, good luck, man.
Yeah.
Figure it out and struggle on your own, and then we can come back and find the whys after we lose.
Yeah, they're just feeding them to the wolves.
So there hasn't really been progress. There's been flashes, which is why you're still hopeful because guys who can flash the talent, if they flash it, it means it's there. So you see that it's there. You just got to get more. You have to get it consistently, which hasn't happened yet this year. And I doubt it'll happen under Nagy because Justin Fields isn't the style of quarterback that Nagy wants on his offense.
Yes.
That's the reality.
I agree. But with this rumors all coming out and everything, obviously it's safe to say Nagy's tenure is done in Chicago at the end of this year.
I think
so. Who'd be your guys' top suitor for
Greg Roman?
Greg Roman?
Right? That's Baltimore? Yeah.
Offense coordinator?
Yeah.
Greg
Roman, because Greg Roman can run the ball. The Ravens' offense is a running off. They like to run the ball. And he's a coordinator who changes his scheme to the talent he has. So you get a quarterback like Justin Fields, you're going to run plays that make him comfortable, that kind of help hide his weaknesses and make it easier for him and make him help him succeed. You look at the growth of Lamar Jackson. Greg Roman's a huge part of that.
Yeah.
Greg Roman built the playbook around what Lamar does well and around things that take pressure off of him, so it makes the difficult parts of his game easier for him. Greg Roman's my main guy.
I'll hear Nick.
Kellen Moore.
That's my guy.
Kellen Moore's a fair pick too.
Dude, his offensive scheme just works. He knows he. I wouldn't say he's like a run first. He definitely passes the ball, but he mixes it in well. And if you can make Dak Prescott throw for what he was on pace for 6,000 passing yards last year.
No, Kellen Moore's a very good pick.
Is. And when Mike McCarthy came in, he kept all of Kellen Moore's offensive scheme, so he did not change a thing.
No, I like the Kellen Moore idea. Like I said, I'm just going. My reasoning for Greg Roman is the way he adapts his scheme to what he has.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Kellen Moore, I mean, the results speak for themselves with the way numbers are being put up in Dallas. Difference is, Baltimore's been a little bit more of a winning program the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's different factors for that, obviously,
Yeah.
with Dak Prescott's injury and everything. But they were still losing games regardless.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I could get behind the Kellen Moore move, but I think Greg Roman is Greg Roman's the guy you got to go for.
Yeah, I mean, also you got Eric Bieniemy out there. You definitely.
I'm convinced Eric Bieniemy is just waiting to inherit the Chiefs.
I think so, because I mean,
I really think because he should have been a head coach this year.
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure he's got an off the books deal with the Chiefs that when Reed retires, Bieniemy takes over.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that because he has not left.
No, he's not left, and he's been what is this going to be, year 2 or 3 in a row now of Eric Bieniemy being the biggest name for the next head coaching gig.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think he's staying with the Chiefs and just going to take over whenever Reed's time comes. I'll tell you who's not going to be a head coaching candidate though is
Jason Garrett.
Dude,
I feel like people blame him way more for this year than they should. Saquon Barkley has been a shell of himself since he got hurt last year. He's not as explosive as he was because of the injury last year. And I feel like that's expected. Sterling Shepard has been hurt the whole time, so it's not really working out. Evan Ingram has not been himself. Kenny Galladay has 0 touchdowns, I think, after them signing him. I don't think Jason Garrett is definitely a problem, but
Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, dude, that was terrible.
Jason Garrett, I feel like, gets a lot of his stress from his job, or a lot of negatives towards him because of how he didn't perform well in Dallas.
Dude, he's the king of the 8-8 season. And
everyone's like, you're going to come to New York and you're going to completely turn our offensive around. It's like, okay, we'll give him a healthy running back who stays healthy for more than a game without kind of being questionable. Kadarius Toney also has kind of been questionable back and forth. Evan Ingram hasn't been himself. Daniel Jones is okay, but he's still young.
Plus, you got to factor in they have the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
Yeah, this move is Jason Garrett is kind of feeling like a scapegoat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's call it a spade is a spade, right? The Giants are not good.
No.
Yeah.
And they brought in Jason Garrett, and I think their idea was all right, we got Jason Garrett, now our offense is suddenly going to be really good. We're going to do that. We got you just mentioned Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, we got Saquon, but there's all these injuries. There's health.
They went all offensive.
They went all offense, but their offensive line still sucks.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is it fair to say the book is out on Daniel Jones now? He's just not good.
I don't think he's not good.
Honestly.
I just think he struggles with that offensive line. I think if he has a more solid offensive line where he has time to throw it and then, improvise on his feet, he's still one of the faster quarterbacks in the league.
He's fast. I think Daniel Jones' ceiling is about right around middle of the pack quarterback.
Yeah, I will say that.
So. He's not.
Yeah, he
doesn't strike. He's not the guy who's winning you a game. He's not taking over a game. He's a guy who, at his best, will not be in the way.
Him at his best is a more mobile Alex Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the guy he's accurate when he needs to be. As time goes on, he'll get more accurate and better, decision making. But he's a little bit quicker than Alex Smith. But he's never going to mount to it.
That works and everything, but you have such a bad offensive line. Saquon Barkley dude, he's just getting injured all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's just
Sterling Shepard. I feel like we've been like that man's been on the Giants since like 2000. I know he hasn't, but my goodness, his name sounds like he's been around forever.
He has been around.
It's not Kenny Galladay. That addition hasn't really paid off.
No, yeah.
There's so many issues with that team that are beyond your offensive coordinator's control. And it's just like, so you fired the offensive coordinator. Why?
Scapegoat.
That's what I was saying earlier with if the Bears need a clean house, I would have no problem with him because he's not going to like destroy your team offensively. He's not going to be able to turn around like I think Kellen Moore would or Baltimore's offensive coordinator. But you don't want that in the middle of the season. You're just like, hey, you don't have a job, just come fill in for the season. If you don't screw everything up, we might keep you on. But we're getting a new head coach anyway, so we'll see what happens. But it's just, I feel like it's unfair to judge him for the Giant struggles. Their defense sucks, and not anything against Daniel Jones, but he can't come back from a big loss, like a big, being down a lot. So, and that's where they put themselves in this situation.
Yeah,
and it was the Bucs, man. You were never going to win against the Bucs.
Yeah.
And I mean, 10 points is about what I thought their offense was going to put up on them.
I didn't think they were going to lose by 11. I thought Brady was going to stumble a little bit. That's why I picked them for
True.
Bobby's bets. I picked the Giants.
Hey, they covered though.
11 points scares me. That's a weird one.
Hey, they covered, man.
I know.
Hey, that's all we needed.
they covered.
But I just want to talk about the Colts, dude.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor. Whoa. Hey,
Insane.
5 total TDs.
Whoa.
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 So
Hey.
totally wicked.
Dude,
That's crazy, dude.
he's the real deal, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, God, Carson Wentz threw for 106 yards.
Yeah, you don't have to throw the ball very much when the defense can't stop the running game.
Yeah, dude, they just ground and pounded that game.
It's
It's
so
embarrassing
weird.
for the Bills, though.
The Bills have been sobered up.
Yeah,
They've been humbled this year.
they're very humbled.
I think
it's so weird that like when you look at teams like everyone's like, oh, Tennessee is so good because they have Derrick Henry and like Ryan Tannehill is like, just kind of he doesn't lose the game for you. The Colts are so similar to that too. Like Carson Wentz is having an okay season because he's like, oh, I have Jonathan Taylor that we can just hand the ball off to 30 times and like we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Carson Wentz ain't doing bad this year, but like he's not turning the ball over. That's what you need. Like,
don't turn it over.
Yeah, don't turn it over.
His
and,
thing has been turnovers in the past.
Yeah,
so if you get that out of his game, and it pays dividends for you.
Yeah, the Colts are looking good. Like, honestly, they keep playing this way. It's looking like the Titans are on the down and down. They're gonna have to figure out that Derrick Henry situation. AP was released today.
Yeah. I'm not sweating if I'm the Titans. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I am a little bit for the simple fact is like not start of the season, but like 3 or 4 weeks ago, you're like, oh, perfect. And weeks coming up, we're gonna get an easy win against Houston, and the Colts are probably gonna lose to Buffalo. And that was gonna be, and then it turned out to being a 2-game swing.
I mean, this was definitely like a what the F kind of week.
Yeah, dude,
sure.
it was just a left and a right.
Ty God, man, Ty God.
But
I'll tell you what, the team, Titans aside, the team that really needs a wake up call is the Bills.
That is a huge wake
Remember
up call.
three weeks ago we were talking about how the Bills were the best team in the AFC.
I was thinking they were the most complete team for the simple fact of like they were just winning games so easily, and I feel like it got to their heads. They're like, oh, we don't really have to try that hard. And now they've lost a couple games that they should have won. They go into games like, oh my gosh, we have to completely turn around, and they play in their own heads where it's like,
and they didn't get like beat. They got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different. Like you lose by a close game to the Colts, fine. You know what? They have a good team. Like they're one of those like middle of the pack scary teams that you
spooky.
Yeah.
Like
they're a wild card team. They are the definition of a wild card team. They can come in and beat you, or you can beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, and
the Bills, they're just without they don't have a running game, right? We've known that. The defense is playing inconsistently, and so is the offense. They're at this weird point in the season where just they can't seem to get the stuff that normally clicked for them to work.
Yeah,
and this now it's kind of starting to catch up to them now.
Yeah.
Because suddenly the Patriots are in running to take over that division.
Dude, they are a good team.
Well,
like,
I mean, you look at
they spent like $300 million in the offseason.
Like, I'm just saying, like, as a total, like, they are like a whole complete team. Like, at the beginning of the season, yeah, Mac Jones has faltered, had some steps, but now Mac Jones is looking really good, and
Should have been third overall.
honestly, at this point, yeah,
I'm glad he didn't go third overall, though.
yeah, dude, he got to go pair up with Belichick.
I feel like he'd be having a much worse season if he's in
Oh,
San
yeah.
Francisco.
I know. I'm just saying. You guys laughed at me.
I mean, I didn't laugh at you. I just
Bobby
didn't,
did. Bobby was
I didn't think
ridiculing me hard for.
I didn't think the 49ers. I think the 49ers should have traded away their pick because
They traded up for that pick.
I know, but like looking at it, when you talked about it with the Bills not having a
All
running
right,
back,
with the guy with the name McCorkle. All right,
What are you? What?
that's his name, Michael McCorkle Jones.
What are you talking about?
Mac Jones' name is Michael McCorkle Jones.
okay,
Okay.
With a name like McCorkle, all right. Who would have ever thought? Dad buying McCorkle over here.
Nick, what were you saying? I'm more. No.
I was
I'm
just
sorry, Bob. I'm sorry.
I was saying like
How did you not know that?
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
it's just not important.
It's important.
No, it
His
didn't.
name's McCorkle, man. Oh.
Yeah, McCorkle is playing on the Patriots.
Hey,
Nick, you were saying.
yeah, go
What I
ahead.
was saying is like Mac Jones being on like a team. I mean, they don't have a solid running back, but they have a good running back by committee. When you look at the team like the Bills and like the 49ers running backs have just been just absolutely devastated by injury.
Yeah, dude.
Mostert would have made Jimmy Garoppolo look better. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is playing amazing, but like you look at the Bills, like yeah, you would think like best team, especially in that division, would be Bills over Patriots because their quarterback's better, their offense is better, and all that. But when Matt Breida is your leading rusher with 5 attempts, it's not that hard to be like, all right, well, they're not going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas with Mac Jones, you're like, all right, he's going to throw quick passes, but it's hard to get to the quarterback when he's throwing quick passes. And they have Ramon Stevenson, they have Ben Bolden, who's decent, and then I can't remember who the guy was who got hurt. They're just
Oh,
terrible.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris.
McCorkle.
And it's just like when you have that ability where defensive teams are not going to know they're not going to run the ball. Mac Jones has a chance to play action, do stuff like that. Whereas you have a team like the Bills, especially going up against Belichick, teams like that, you're like, all right, we know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. 5-game winning streak.
Looking
And
good.
looking-
Let me ask,
looking-
who's your most complete team in the NFL?
Dude, Patriots.
Patriots?
100%. After that game, they absolutely destroyed the Falcons. Falcons couldn't even move the ball. I felt so bad for Matt Ryan. Man, just getting knocked down every single play.
it's because you didn't have Cordarrelle out there.
Yeah, dude. Falcons
Nick, your most
stink.
complete team?
I have a hypothetical most complete team that I would want you guys to like maybe put your opinion on. If Andrew Luck's still playing in the NFL and is playing on the Colts, would you not agree that the Colts probably have the most complete team?
He would probably be injured.
I'm saying he's not injured. I'm saying Andrew Luck is playing.
Maybe?
Maybe. I don't
Because
know.
without that, I have the Bucks, the most complete team. Their defense is amazing. They have the best playoff quarterback you could ever ask for. They have 2 running backs who are insane. They have 3 amazing tight ends.
But they just lost before that, they lost the last 2 games.
My most complete team?
Rams.
Rams.
Dude,
I figured you were going to say that.
did you watch the last 2 Rams games?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not a complete team. The question isn't what's the best team in
Would you do?
football.
Okay, so you don't want the Rams roster?
I would, but I don't know.
When you say
They
complete
need to figure
team-
out.
Pick a team that it would be hard to replace a player.
I'm saying like complete team, like right now, who is playing complete football? Who's playing
I'm
good
going.
complete
What team?
football?
What team is the most complete roster?
Yeah, the Bucks. I would say the Rams, maybe the Cardinals, but you could put a better quarterback on the team to be for the Patriots. You can put a better running back. You can put a better solid number 1 target. If you go to the Bucks, you're going to replace Chris Godwin. You're going to replace Mike Evans. No, you're
Yeah,
gonna
I get
replace
that, but I'm
Gronk.
saying who is playing complete football?
No, we're taking the question in different perspectives.
You said
Bob.
the question was what's
The
the,
most complete team.
Yeah, that was the question I typed out. Who is playing complete football?
That's not what the question
That's
says.
not
though.
what the question
It
is.
says who's the most complete team right now.
Yeah,
which
who's
is
the most
players on
complete
your team that make a complete team.
And I think the Rams are the most complete roster in football.
Yeah, I think the Bucks. Who's playing
So,
the best football right now?
so they had a
So-
couple bad weeks.
They did, and then they're playing the Packers this week.
That's fine. They'll bounce back.
All right, we'll see.
Same
We'll
thing.
see.
Packers
Green
are
Bay
probably
just lost to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
dude, the
before
Kirk
this week-
Cousins show.
Kirk Cousins, man.
Before this week, you could argue that the Packers were playing the most complete football as a team because their defense was so injured, but they were playing so good. But they're not the most complete team because you can replace that whole defense with the Bucks defense, and you have a better team.
Yeah.
I don't think you can put anyone on the Bucks or the Rams. And
in the
even
Packers'
Cardinals.
defense, I just want to say Vikings are in the playoff run right now.
I know they're
Like,
5-5.
pretty
yeah,
sad.
5-5, and
They're having a good year.
yeah, like
But it's whatever. Let's get into Bobby's bets. How about
all right,
Oh, best game of the week to start off.
yeah, all right. So Thanksgiving games. All right, we got Bears and Lions starting us off for the Thanksgiving bowls.
This might be the first week I pick against the Bears. I've picked in favor of the. I've picked the Bears every week they've played.
All right, well, Bears are favored by 3 against the Lions. Tim Boyle might be starting.
Tim Boyle's not going to do anything. I'm going to stick with the Bears. I'm all tough.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going
picking
Bears. We're all going Bears here, but
Bears because it's going to be Dalton, not Fields. If it was Fields, I'd be a little bit more worried. But with Dalton, he's just going to
Dude, if the Bears are the first win for the Lions, Nagy better be fired before they leave Detroit.
like he better be fired.
They better tell his ass to find a ride home.
Like, hey, before Thanksgiving dinner starts, he better be fired.
Yeah, be like, hey man, we're not thankful for you. Go
Yeah.
file for unemployment. I heard
Yeah.
it pays an extra $600.
Raiders versus Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 7.5. It is a big.
7.5 is
Yeah,
big, man.
It's big.
But the Raiders had a really bad game against the Bengals.
I think I have to go Cowboys here. Like, I know they got shut down last week, but they'll bounce back. I'm sure of it. They're gonna bounce back. They're gonna
7.5 is too big for me. I'm gonna go with the Raiders to cover.
You're out on the Cowboys.
Are you going to change it? Because on the PowerPoint, you picked the Raiders.
PowerPoint.
Right here. On the doc, you put Raiders.
Oh yeah, change that.
Okay, I'll change it.
Yeah, change that. My bad. Bills versus Saints. Bills favored by 5.5. Easily. Trevor Siemian, he's not your guy.
Bills are going to bounce back.
You got to go
Yeah,
Bills here.
Bills are going to bounce back on this one. It's hard to say they won't.
Yeah. Titans versus Patriots. Patriots favored by 6. Patriots 5-game winning streak. Michael McCorkle-Jones.
No, I got a good feeling about the Titans this week.
They just lost to the Texans. They just lost
I
to
also
the
have the
absolutely
Titans.
worst team in the league, and you're gonna pick them to beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, guys. This is my week. All right.
All right, Bobby.
You fools.
Okay.
All right. Jets versus Texans. Texans favored by 2.5.
This is the toughest pick of the
This-
week, man.
I'm going-
This is just like which dumb team is gonna be smarter.
Hey, Joe Flacco's starting, so I think
But
I'm
Ty got his back. I gotta roll with the Texans on this one.
going with
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. That's tough.
Bobby, for all your talk of Ty God, you're really about to go with Joe Flacco?
Yeah. You want?
Come on, buddy. Really, you're about to go Joe Flacco?
I'm big on Ty God.
Yeah, Ty
changing
God
that.
he just did it to the Titans.
He did just do it to the Titans.
Ty
Eagles.
God.
He's amazing, man. Eagles versus Giants. Eagles favored by
That's
3.5.
an easy one. Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles.
Eagles.
They're another one of those teams that
It's hard to predict what the Eagles are. Every week, I just
But,
like,
I mean,
don't
like,
know what,
they
I
might-
don't know what my opinion is of the Eagles.
Yeah, like they look good one week and then they
And
look.
then I pick them in
like-
Bobby's bets, and they look like crap.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't pick them, and then they look good. And I'm just like, sure.
I picked him last week because Jalen Hurts has been playing amazing.
Jalen Hurts has been having a good year. But
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, still has bad throws, but I mean, he's doing what you expect.
Yeah.
Buccaneers versus Colts. Bucks favored by 2.5.
This is another tough one. 2.5 is rough. Inside 3, I defer to Nick's logic of who I think is going.
I
to
think
win.
I think Bucks are gonna win this one.
Same for me.
It's
Yeah,
Carson Wentz is going to have to throw for more than 106 yards.
yeah,
to
dude.
beat.
They
the
could,
running game.
they could stop the running
Bucs have
game.
the best running defense in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think Carson Wentz on his own. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be the difference maker. So I got to roll with the. I'm going to roll with the Bucs on this one.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. Falcons versus Jags. Falcons favored by 1 point.
Jags.
Yeah, I'm going Jags
I
here.
have the Falcons.
You could take the Falcons, but
Just because I think Cordell Patterson's going to be back this week. And not saying that he's like the glue that holds the team together, but just him in the backfield causes a lot of problems for defense. And Jacksonville's defense isn't great. If they were playing any team with a decent defense, I'd be like, all right, they're ready, even if Cordell Patterson comes back. Not the Jaguars, though.
that's fair. They just got shut out though, and threw 4 picks.
Yeah, but Cordell wasn't it.
So I think I have to go against him.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's two bad teams.
Yeah. Panthers versus Dolphins. Panthers favored by 1.5. Super Cam. Did you guys watch him?
I watched the Washington football team win.
Okay. Hey.
Hey.
Cam Newton did what he did. All right.
They lost.
40th game with a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just
True.
saying they lost.
True. But
I
that's
think he'll get a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown again. They'll still lose.
question. Was that celebration just over the top though?
I didn't watch the game.
He ran
It
all
was
the
his
way.
first touchdown back in Carolina.
Yeah, but you had to run all the way to the Panther logo in the middle of the field to
sure,
spike
but
the ball.
it's Cam Newton, so honestly, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, just a little bit over the
didn't-
top.
It doesn't bother me. I don't care. He's back.
Yeah.
He's back at his hometown.
But like, dude, it took him a while.
hometown.
It took him a while to get down there.
Well, he's older now.
Yeah. But it's a little,
Man had to run all the way to the midfield. Yeah, maybe he didn't have to, but he did it.
just
Whatever.
a little bit over the top, Cam.
This one's a tough game to pick here. I think the Panthers will probably end up winning though, so I'm gonna roll with the Panthers.
I'm going Panthers too.
Dolphins, it's just I haven't seen enough from the Dolphins to be able to like feel comfortable picking them to beat
I will say
anyone really.
these last couple games, Tua has been stringing a couple good games together, but
Panthers, even though they lost, the Panthers still played pretty solid against Washington.
yeah,
I think
Camden turned the ball over.
I think Washington's better than the Dolphins, so by that logic, I'm gonna roll with the Panthers.
I have
Alright.
the Dolphins because of Miles Gaskin.
You're going Fins.
Yep.
Steelers versus Bengals. Bengals favored by 4.5.
This
Steelers
is a
put up
tough
a
one.
fight with the Chargers.
They did,
And honestly, they shouldn't have lost that game,
but they did.
but they did. Shouldn't have lost it. I'm gonna go Steelers here.
4.5 is tough.
Big Ben looked pretty decent.
Yeah. Joe
Seems
Burrow
like
looks
the
a lot
Steelers
better,
kind
though.
of found something that was working for them. It's a tough call, man. Come back to me.
I picked the Bengals.
You picked the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals.
I was leaning towards the Bengals.
Joe Burrow is amazing. Jamar Chase has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon
I think the
hasn't been hurt enough.
honestly, no, I gotta go with you on this one, Nick. I think the Bengals' younger team is gonna prevail on this one.
All right. Chargers versus Broncos. Chargers favored by 2.5.
Yeah, Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah.
2.5 is kind of disrespectful to the Chargers.
Yeah, they should be way more. Vikings versus 49ers. 49ers favored by 3.
Vikings.
I'm going Vikings, yeah.
I'm going 49ers. They used a lot of energy on that game in Green Bay or against Green Bay. And I don't think they're.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins, see?
Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
Oh, Captain,
two.
my captain.
Oh, don't even say Captain Kirk. That's Kirk Heinrich.
Actually,
He's the only Captain
it's
Kirk.
the star. It's William Shatner,
Yeah.
No, it's Kurt Heinrich.
James Tiberius Kirk. Right, that's his name.
Rams versus Packers. Packers favored by 1.
Rams.
I'm going Rams here. I'm hoping they have a bounce back game.
Rams.
Oh,
Most complete team in football. Rams.
I
I feel like this is the first time the Packers defense can get picked apart finally.
Yeah. Browns versus Ravens. Ravens favored by 3.5. I will say this. I did rip on Baker Mayfield pretty hard, but after watching last week's game, it's looking like he's playing through some serious injury.
Wow.
Really?
It's
So-
almost like we were saying that.
So yeah, it took another week to see it, but it's looking like he's pretty affected. I don't know why. Like it's like they're just making him go out there. Like it's just like go get it. Good job.
Get it, Baker.
Go get him, Cowboy.
Yeah, he's over here limping on the field, running around. I just feel bad for the dude. Like,
Yeah, it's rough.
and
man.
especially against the Lions, that's a game you sit him. Like, if there is any team to sit him against, why would you not sit him against the Lions?
Does it make sense?
I don't know.
It's he poor guy needs rest. For this one, Ravens, Browns.
I'm going Ravens here. Hopefully Lamar Jackson's illness. I don't know.
Lamar's probably going to be back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Ravens as well on this one. Browns have just not been playing good at all.
It's only 3.5, and
It's
Lamar.
3.5, but
It's
do
not
I
like Lamar's
believe that
hurt.
their offense, which has been struggling with the injuries and everything, is going to be able to put up more than 3-point lead? No.
Yeah.
That's my reasoning for it. I mean, I could see maybe, but it just,
Yeah, I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we got Seahawks versus football team. Football team favored by 1. Dude. Well, okay, my question is why are you telling people that you have this miraculous recovery, all this stuff, and you come back and you play like doo-doo?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, I know. He's on my fantasy
Doo-doo.
team.
You play like doo-doo. Absolute crap.
Doo-doo.
Hey, he's a broken finger. He shouldn't be back yet.
But hey, it was a miraculous recovery. He healed so fast.
Homie shouldn't be coming.
Yeah, dude, he should not be playing right now.
This-
Honestly,
hey,
Geno
gosh.
Smith is probably your best.
I'm gonna roll with
option.
the football team on this one.
I'm going football team too.
I'm going back and forth.
Taylor Heineke.
Monday night, it gives an extra day for Russell Wilson to figure out what's wrong with him. I think they're gonna win. Just because it's 1 point. It's so tough.
Dude,
They're not. They have not looked good.
they have not.
I know.
And it's looking like Russell Wilson is not going to be a Seahawk.
No.
He's definitely gone.
It's whatever, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the football team on this one.
And
I've put some faith in them.
but
Every time I do, they let me down. So I'm gonna put faith against them.
What do you
I
mean?
do.
Didn't they?
No,
You picked them last week.
no, I'm with Nick. Every time we
No, I picked
we
the
pick
Bucks.
them, like
You didn't pick them last week. Was I the only one who picked them last week?
I think I picked the Panthers last week.
Oh no, I picked them. I picked the. Yeah, I picked them against the Bucks. I picked the Bucks.
No, I'm talking about against
no
this-
last week. But it was the Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
But they've let me down every time, like when it's been like a 1 point game or something like that. Like
Fair enough.
I was always been like, yeah, I'm gonna pick them because it's only 1
So
point.
you don't trust them?
I don't trust them in close games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be a close game. Field
Dude,
goals
and
could win it.
where's Fitzmagic? Is he ever coming back?
Dude, he shattered his hip.
I thought they said it was like 6 to 8 weeks.
I don't know.
I mean, they're rolling with Heineke.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
He's doing fine.
But where it stands in Bobby's bets, Nick is in first place, 51-50. Andrew, 47-54.
I had a sneaky good week, guys. 10-5. 10-5, Bobby.
You got lucky, all right? And I'm still only 3
Okay.
behind you, all right? So it's a close race. And I'm 44-57.
Boy.
It's not bad.
Hey, we're all within 10 of each other. So hey,
It's anyone's game.
it's anyone's
Yeah,
game
pretty
at this
much.
point.
It's anyone's game. I
15
didn't give
games.
myself a lock for this week. That's
What-
'cause it's just
this is-
too many
this is week
difficult
12?
matchups. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's week
we're
12.
going into week 12. So we got 6 more weeks.
Sheesh, we got
Yeah.
a lot of this.
Honestly,
man.
on Bobby's bets, I should start be putting like the week that we're doing for the football to make it less confusing.
Well, yeah, because what are the Bears?
This says Bobby's bets week 8.
Yeah,
Because we didn't start at the start of the season.
Like football team, like football weeks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I should probably just do it like that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really freaking confusing.
That would make it better.
Every time I see it, I'm like, what?
True. All right. Well, we'll do that moving forward.
Yeah, going forward.
Yeah,
Going forward. But Nick, your question of the week?
yeah. We'll just dive right in that.
I didn't really have a good one, so my only like quick thinking one is best college mascot. I know we talked about worst professional team mascots or like team names and like athletics and all that stuff, but best college mascot.
I'm gonna just say this just because it's gonna piss Andrew off. Fighting Irish, man.
Wow.
Andrew really hates Notre Dame.
I don't like Notre Dame. No, it's not a cool. I don't think it's that cool of a mascot.
Yeah,
no,
I don't
it's
like
not.
it. I mean, it's better than a lot like the Syracuse Orange
Yeah, like,
or the
Yeah.
Stanford Cardinals, but their mascot is a tree for some reason.
Yeah, I forgot I looked it up. I forgot what the reasoning was. I'm gonna go Texas Longhorns.
The steakhouse or the team?
Don't be dumb.
don't be dumb.
Wow.
Don't be
That's
silly.
that's the coolest mascot.
Well, I just like that they have the actual Longhorn out there.
Bevo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if there's anyone, dogs.
The
Dogs, man.
Dogs got the
I
little
like
bulldog.
Richmond Spiders are my favorite. Just
Really?
because like
Richmond?
spiders is a so unique thing. Like Longhorns, like okay, that's like not that unique for Texas, but like spiders, like no one's the spiders. Like that's unique.
Yeah, it's
different.
unique. It's unique. One what else is unique? The trolls.
Yeah,
The trolls,
the
yeah.
trolls.
I wonder what school would have that.
Yeah. The Trinity.
NAI school, not that big.
Yeah. Who
Smaller than
picked the
most high
Trolls?
schools.
Hey,
I forgot the story behind the trolls for that.
Hey, the Cyclones.
Moraine Valley Cyclones.
Yeah, Marine Valley Cyclones. We were all Cyclones, right?
I know.
Yeah,
we were all cyclones.
Some
Yeah.
shorter than others, but
Some shorter than
Yeah,
others.
some longer. We have longer tenures there. You know,
It's okay. There's no shame.
there's
man.
no shame in
But
it.
no, I'm going with the Longhorns. I just like, I don't know. Their actual like mascot, like the dude, is a pretty cool looking thing
What's
too.
Texas A&M? The Aggies?
The Aggies.
What's their mascot?
I don't know.
I think an Aggie is like a dog of some kind.
Oh,
That doesn't sound right, but okay. I don't know either. So
But I don't know. We were using my phone to record. I can't look. I'm not.
dogs. I'm on dogs. I still have to go.
Okay.
Any
fair
team
enough.
mascot or any team that has like an animal and has that actual animal as their mascot and not just like a guy in a suit is always instantly cooler. Like seeing the Georgia Bulldog just in his little air conditioned like
Yeah, his
hut.
little hut.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Remember a few years ago, the Longhorn went after the Bulldog.
Oh, geez.
I thought the Bulldog went after the Longhorn.
No, it was the other way.
Oh.
You see the person like just swing the dog on the leash, and it was just like, whoa! They brought them out and put them next to each other, and that cow was just like,
It's a
no,
terrible
sir.
idea.
That's like Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, no, I mean they were chilling next to each other for a little while, and then like as it was done on camera, they just it went after the Bulldog, and they were like, whoo! It's pretty weird, pretty funny.
Risky business.
Risky business.
Risky
But
business.
no, I think that'll wrap it up for us this week, though. You agree?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good place to end. Good place as any to end it there. So thank you everybody for tuning in this week. If you like what you heard, please give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at GTS Podcast 1. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. We're going to be getting more active and everything on Twitter and social media platforms, so just bear with us. I'm going to be putting some regular TikTok content out there as well, so follow us on TikTok, Raj Talk Sports. And then, as always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and until next week, we'll see you.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Have a great happy
Have a great
Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.